we on camera now?
I wish my wife could see that.
Oh,
See
that's
what
pretty nice. But you only brought one cookie. That's average food.
I brought it. No.
Oh, for
I was like,
everyone.
she would look, she's like, a cookie? Where's the Michael Kors bag? Huh?
So you guys know each other, kind of. Who works together? What's the interaction? Where?
Most of the people here.
We work together. She's my boss.
Who's your boss? Really?
Yeah.
Recently, so the things that he's discussing is stuff that
Happened before.
I'll take the tip on that. I will not go deeper. So.
Remember, we're in Vegas.
But didn't the giggle come from that chair? Go figure. Okay. Okay. One good or interesting thing that happened over lunch?
Say again?
One good or interesting thing that happened over lunch?
It seemed like the time went by fast.
too fast.
Faster than the morning?
Yeah.
My key card works.
Okay. Very cool. My son just went on a trip with his whole school, a service trip to Nicaragua.
Wow.
I know. And they had a couple kids in the school that were from Africa and from China. And they got over there and couldn't get the visa. So it was like to stay or to go in for the, and so they had to, come back. And so it was like, and the whole school was over there. So I just got a notice that the whole school got back yesterday and they returned, and those kids had been building a whole like new cool round message board and a thing that would, they saw that they had hammocks over in Nicaragua, that they hand make those. So they made something that would hold, the 6 really cool hammocks. And so then now it's part of the school and it's like an installation. But what is that?
Making something out of it, something negative.
I mean, really, right? I mean, wow, ouch, right? For those kids who couldn't participate. But they came back and everybody's thrilled. They're the stars, right? And they left something that's pretty permanent there. Well, not permanent, but understanding. So you, S-U-P-P-O-R-T. Welcome back.
Sorry.
No, that's power to understand, intellectual faculty, intelligence, distinguish falsehood from truth, and adapt means to ends, falsehood from truth, false evidence appearing real. Does it make sense that they have fear? Who knows? Let's help figure that out. Anybody know Viktor Frankl? Survived a lot of concentration camps. Yeah, long time concentration camp. He said it was so phenomenally depressing that he knew if people started if instead of getting out to go for the work camp in the day, knowing that they were going to be starving, knowing that they were going to be dying of thirst constantly, and that they were going to be having to work themselves to the bone in the frigid air, that if they didn't get out of bed and say, okay, one more day I'm going to do this, and if they ended up lighting up a cigarette or turning over and saying, screw it, that was their last day. He knew that. And the other thing is that he said it became so incredibly depressing that they'd come back and share the most horrid stories of how people died that day. And it just sucked even more energy out of them. So he said, I don't care what it is, but at the end of the day when we come back together, we have got to find something humorous about. I don't care if it was how someone hit the ground when they took their last breath. We gotta find something to laugh about together. And he was the founder of something called Logos Therapy. It's how we think about our situation. And he wrote a book called Man's Search for Meaning, and it's incredible. Man's Search for Meaning. You know, and if you ever want to see what he did and what those who survived did inside their minds and inside their beings in order to get through the hardest of the hard and the most horrible of the horrible. He's an exquisite thinker, so he's wonderful for us in terms of this understanding things. And I have the chills as I talk about it.
Is he still alive?
No. No.
What was the name?
But he survived the camps and he went on to serve many people and create a whole body of work.
What's the name of the book?
Man's Search for Meaning.
I mean, it brings me to mind the movie Life is Beautiful. Like,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's exactly right. Very much in that
same-
whole,
in the same, you know,
in that
same-
genre.
I mean,
Absolutely.
that to help the child, but at the same time, just how you present facts, and that's what it's like.
Yes. Yes. We're holistic people. You are a mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, and social being. What does that mean to anybody, this quote? Do you like this quote?
Yeah.
Yeah? Why?
It's very true.
Is it?
True.
Yeah, okay, yeah, right, right. Fresh moment.
You can look at it from a biological perspective.
Say that?
You can look at it from a biological perspective as well.
Okay,
After I think maybe it's 5 years, all your cells are new cells.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, 90 days, the whole liver regenerates itself. It's pretty astounding.
You're a different person.
You're a different person. Yeah, but we don't always think that way. Our brain gets us stuck in things. It's not necessarily true. So they talk about our programming, and the neurons and dendrites are what are in our brain, right? And the neurons are firing, and the dendrites are like the very refined kind of network that connects things to itself. And then we have our thoughts form, and we take actions out of this, and then we get results. How do we change that? There's a sign in Vermont. It says, in the winter, be careful for the rut, because you will end up in it for the next 50 miles. Okay? That's like our brain. So, brain, we have one way that we tend to do things more often than not. It creates a neural pathway. It's like the superhighway. That's just what we do, right? And so what do we talk about with a habit?
Reinforcement.
What's that?
Reinforcement.
Well, we're always reinforcing by just doing what is our automatic thing to do. We wake up in the morning, you know, reboot, and go, right? How much do we rethink or say, no, I'm not going to indulge that one today. I'm going to go this way. And you guys, it's just a matter of that, but it is a choice. It's a conscious choice we have to make. Because you almost begin to starve the thing that you don't want to feed anymore. But you have to be willing to experience that discomfort for a little while. And then you start to build a new road. And you put a little bit more asphalt down, or as I like to think of it, one brick, some mortar, another brick, some mortar, right? And one day you wake up, and you're in a new castle. You're in a new castle. There's all sorts of wonderful research right now to say 6 weeks, you actually change your physiology, you actually change your brain. It doesn't mean the old stuff goes away, but it does fade. So I want you to know this from a scientific standpoint. But it requires our what?
An effort on our part to change.
And and so that an effort, why would we put the effort in?
A lot of different.
Yeah. results.
Right.
We all have different ways we go about things. This exercise is going to let you know, more often than not, how you tend to respond to things. Not good or bad? Yes, page 22. You may have some idea already as you look at these names, what you are. And I'm not going to talk at you a lot here. We're actually going to have a bit of an experience of really recognizing what is our style. But let me ask you if you know the difference between the gold and the platinum rule. So they talk about the golden rule as you would have done unto you, right? As you were saying this morning, right? Let's go a step above. Platinum rule. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's supposedly you treat others how they want to be treated.
Thank you. Did everybody hear that? Say it again.
You treat
So
others
what's
how
golden
they
rule?
wanted
Wait.
to be treated.
Treat others as they would have you treat them. As they want to be treated. Or as they need to be treated. They don't want to be treated necessarily the way you want to be treated. Right? Again, that's putting ourselves on them. So if you're really serious about wanting to walk in their shoes a little bit and say, who are they? What are they thinking? Let's take a look at this. Is simplifying what human beings are, but it helps to categorize. Have you guys ever been in any kind of personality thing like the DISC or the MBTI, the Myers-Briggs? Okay, great. So all these things are done in quadrants. This just gives you another view, and you'll be able to see sort of who your colleagues are and have a little bit of a framework for when you approach people, how they want you to treat them. Useful? Let's hope so. It's part of our understanding. It's part of the you. So, task-oriented versus people-oriented. Start thinking for yourself. Dominant, easygoing. Okay? So the doer. Pretty dominant, pretty task-oriented. What kind of things are they all about? Wanting immediate results. Okay? So they've got positive aspects and aspects that are like challenges that they need to work on, their edge, you know? Maybe, like you said, wanting to push through and be quick with people. So, examples of some of the roles that these folks are in, right? Start to be thinking about some of the people in your lives and yourself. What's the doer's expectation of you? What do you see?
Get to the point.
Yeah.
Tell me which one.
Exactly. It's called bottom line. Give me the bottom line. Why are you in my office? Right? We know people like this? Okay. Or are we like this? You know? Okay. All right. Thinker. First of all, noticing, you know, easygoing, and task-oriented. Detail, systematic, accurate, analytical. Starting to see yourself here. You like more time for everything, right? You want to consider all the options. These are some of the roles. Again, oversimplification, we all have all of these in us. It's just a question of how much. What do they want from you? They want me to figure out how to turn that thing off on my computer. I know that, but that's okay. What do the thinkers want from you?
I want you to think.
They want you to think.
I thought thinkers wanted you to do.
What's that?
I thought thinkers wanted you to do.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah. be like me or be different than I am, but, people oriented, dominant, talker. Again, some of these qualities. Noticing, rule of the road. Noticing for yourself.
Question, what is the talker getting?
Say that?
Bottom line, just gets.
Yeah. They, because generally talkers like status. Right? The thinkers tend to like consistency. Right? The doers tend to like autonomy. The talkers tend to, like or need relatedness. You see, these are kind of out front type things, using their voice, using their own personal branding. They want you to approve of them, their ideas. Guardian. Easygoing, people oriented. What is that?
That's
Yeah,
on
be
the
on
camera.
camera. Quick
Oh, that was
conference.
weird. Was it doing that the whole time, or it just did that?
Did a reboot.
Because I said guardian. Guardian! Okay. That was weird. Okay. So take a look. Who are these people in your life? Who are these people in the teens, right? Dependable, trustworthy. What do they want from you? What do they want?
Be there for them.
What's that?
Be there for them.
Be there for them. Yeah, loyalty is really important. So, yeah. Everybody stand up, please. I'm going to ask those of you who identify more as a doer over in this corner. Those of you who identify more as a thinker over here. Those of you who identify more as a talker. And those of you who identify more as guardian.
But,
Yeah, okay.
because, like, for example, I'm a doer.
Yeah.
But I don't see myself, especially in the task oriented, like, I'm not a poor listener at all.
Uh-huh, okay.
So, but I'm also a guardian.
Uh-huh. Okay, so what are you, which way are you responding more often than not is the only question.
Oh, you mean according to what you have there?
Yeah, which way are you responding more often than not?
Can you say this?
Well, I'm
again?
still both. I'm a
Thinker, thinker,
doer.
talker, guardian.
Okay.
Doer, thinker, talker, guardian. And just stay.
I'm in the middle.
You're not a doer.
I'm a doer and a thinker. I know I am.
Okay.
I know my body.
That's right.
Doer and a thinker.
Okay.
You're right.
Okay. All right, this is more, okay.
Straddle the line.
Doer, thinker, okay, all right, good.
We're the doer thinkers.
Okay, I'm going to ask you to force choice. You have to choose one above the other. And please notice where you are, and notice that it's an absolute continuum. But for the sake of this next exercise, I want you to choose one or the other.
Just kidding. Bless you.
And stand in that corner, please.
Okay. Doer.
Just own this part of you, own this part of you. Okay, great. Yeah, sure, great. Okay, great. We'll chat, okay? All right, here's the question. Here's the question. You'll just have a minute or so. Please talk about the following things. What's great about being us? Okay? What's great about being us? And then what's difficult about being us? All right? And
Being alone.
and what's a favorite vacation? Okay? Yeah, what's great, what's difficult, and what's favorite vacation? All right, see if you can agree to have a conversation. Okay, 2 minutes, go for it.
Yeah, make sure it's
Everybody, understand everything.
Yeah, exactly.
And what's that about? People don't understand us. Perfect vacation, special place of comedy, people like say, don't care. You saw it somewhere.
It's hard to get
Where's that one, California or Florida?
and then you have to literally whip people to get I'm running behind deadline because I'm waiting on so-and-so to get that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to learn that. I don't want to get how you want, and I would love that. I'm like under everybody. I'm not gonna say, but I'm under a lot of people, so like I want to do things, but I can't get it done the way I want. Yeah. So I'm not saying. Okay, I want to get it done, but we have to do it the way you
Where did you go on vacation?
You could go like to Animal Kingdom or
I've been far about going on vacation, and the only reason I don't want to go on vacation is randomly I agreed to go to England's wedding and had an amazing time.
50 million kids and you live by yourself. No, I see.
It's beautiful.
I see.
And it's once you have the flight down there, it's like whatever. But getting the motivation to go was really hard. And I found myself getting a lot of work done. Because I was on the beach and in the suite there's no internet. But on the beach they have the transmitter 10 feet away from me. So I'm like in the sun every 10 minutes flipping over, text, my emails, so much work done. And I felt so relaxed. It was weird. Where did you go for vacation?
One vacation I went on was to Washington. What's fun about it was that my job sent me there. I stayed in a really nice hotel, but I wasn't really working full time. That was what was fun about it. Like, oh, I'm getting paid here.
But there was someone.
Yeah, well, I had to. So I love going to events and things like that. So I got to actually enjoy my work and then relax. Like I was really happy.
but it was
Cambridge or like,
that's different. That's a different kind of story.
You go downstairs, you over there, you
very close to BU. I'm just trying to get like.
You're right. I make sure it's not.
Just get ready to pick Did you get a chance to look at the architecture?
Okay, round up your conversation.
Where'd you go?
All right, if you can hear my voice, talk once. If you can hear my voice, clap twice. If you can hear my voice, clap 3 times. Okay, good, excellent. So, what's great about being a doer?
We get things completed.
What get things
We
completed?
get things done.
Quickly.
Quickly, absolutely.
It feels good to check it off. Like there's a reward in finishing.
Yes, and if you did something and it wasn't on the checklist, do you sometimes write it down and then check it off?
Hell yes,
Okay, you know when laughter is happening in the laboratory, something is right. There's a truth being spoken, right? Laughter, right? Gets that funny bone. So, and what's challenging about being a doer?
You have to be the me. person to really stay on top of things and be demanding at times.
Yeah, okay. So be the mean person. And what were you working on before? What was one of your growth goals for today?
She can't remember now. Yeah.
Really?
Thousand and doubt.
Oh, right.
I'm a thinker.
And right, that's when you move over here. Right, exactly. Okay, so just taking definitive action and maybe having to just deal with the consequences, right? So that's challenging. Okay, great.
Well, also, I
And-
think that a lot of your doing is limited by other people as well. Because if they're not bought in on the doing, it's not going to get done. And then, as she was saying, it goes back to motivating.
Yeah.
But it's sometimes it can be hurry up and wait. You
Yeah.
know, like you're ready to go, and then you're herding cats to get.
Exactly. And you're like, ready, okay.
That's
yeah.
frustrating.
Yes,
Yeah, exactly. And your favorite vacation?
He said Anguilla.
I went to Anguilla recently.
Okay, okay,
He
great.
worked on the beach.
I worked on the
That's
beach.
fine.
Okay, all right.
My sense of having fun is not anybody else's.
A total chill out. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Thank you. All right. What's one thing you guys appreciate about doers?
They get something.
Say it.
They get it done.
Say you get it done.
You get it done.
Yeah.
You do it.
But you can get it done without us.
That's right.
Okay, that's good. So let's say that. Would there be a request that you might have of doers in order to make your life easier?
How can we help you?
Something you'd like, you guys get to be quiet now. Okay, that's not that easy for you, but no.
We're the
What?
talkers.
What is something that the doers in your life that you would like to make a request of them about that would make it easier for you to work with them?
Slow down. We're working at our pace. Yeah.
Okay, so say it to them and just look at them, and just make that request.
I would like you doers to slow down. Guys, oftentimes you're so quick to want to do things that you haven't really thought it through. And so because of that, exactly, you respond and then not thinking about the consequences of what your prompt response was.
Or if
fantastic prompt response, but think about it.
Or we're
before
working
you
on
jump in
another
there.
specific project, like you want it now. No, we have other priorities also.
What's it like for you guys to hear this? What's it like for you to hear this request?
It reminds me to breathe.
Look at his body posture and his facial features when we said that.
Okay, but can you see that this is where some of your doubt might creep in, right? Wondering, have I, been affecting people? Am I moving too fast or something like that? Okay, so another time to breathe.
I
Okay.
feel like when you're so goal oriented, you kind of say, I don't care about, sorry, but I want to focus on my goal and I have to get this done.
Yeah. Right.
Don't
Okay.
apologize.
So understanding the intense, it's almost a physical need to accomplish,
Right.
right? And to get it done. So if you heard what they said about, would you be willing sometimes to slow down a little and to look around and check and see how fast we're able to move? If you're willing to accommodate that in some different way or just open your awareness about that, would you take one step closer inward?
What's that? You want us
I
to?
like that.
No, I didn't understand the question.
If you're willing,
Oh.
some point in the future, to imagine, wow, I'm really being a doer right now,
Oh, no, I think it's something else.
Okay.
and to be willing to say to yourself, I wonder how everybody else is doing. How are the thinkers doing? And what else do they need from me in order to be able to move along?
Support.
All right, if you're willing to do that and take that on at some future point while you're accomplishing your goal, would you please take one step closer into the center of the room? You could scooch. Okay, great. Okay. And so you guys simply say thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, great. All right, so stay there, please. Yeah, please go ahead.
Can I just say something about the doers? I
I know because of what it says in the paper, but for me, like on a personal, I think I'm a do. People say I'm a doer because I'm the type of person that get it done, not fast or not thinking about it. I'm just the one that they will go to because they know I will do it.
Okay, good. Let's go here, right? What's great about being guardians? What is great about being you?
Creating and maintaining structure.
Thank you.
Loyal.
Loyal.
Harmony. We want everybody to play nice in the sandbox.
Right? Do you know these people in your life? You know these people? I mean, do we love these people?
Yes.
I mean, you know what? They're like this. Right? They're just working along. They're just keeping the pace, right? Okay.
She and I are hybrid.
Yes, exactly.
Half this, half this.
Exactly. And sometimes you might have to deal with creating disharmony when you move into this arena. And that can be challenging for the guardian part of yourself, right? Because you want to keep everything nice. And what's challenging about being guardians?
We just said it, the conflict, you know, I think we are naturally inclined to sort of avoid that, for wanting to keep the peace and the harmony and everyone play nice together,
Just to
but
keep it.
when there's a difficult conversation that needs to happen, or, you know, a confrontation, I think that can be challenging for us.
Yeah. And what price do you pay for not facing that tiger?
Help.
Thank you. Ouch. Okay, really. Now, so, and vacation? Anything you guys agreed that you like?
Yeah. Going where Blackberries and iPhones don't work.
Wow.
Because I know that wherever I am, if they work, I'm gonna be working.
Okay. Yeah. Because why? They're dependable as the day is long. So,
Can I just tell how dependable I am? Like, I was in South America one year, and I think it was a week, and I missed work. Where to the point where I called my supervisor, like, hey, how you doing? What's going on? I miss working. I know, right?
yeah, not.
Huh?
You want to join the doers?
Yeah, right.
We work on vacation.
Right.
But we was in between.
Exactly.
That's it.
So,
What should we ask them?
yeah. Yeah. What would you ask of guardians? The guardians in your life that would make it even easier for you to work with them?
Be patient with the chaos.
What request would you like to make with them from that? What? Go ahead.
I said be patient with the chaos. Like, things are going to get chaotic before they get structured. And sometimes, you know, things change and we can't follow all the protocol at the moment.
Listen to us, we'll be instructed.
All the management structure is
I want to
expected.
ask, what is it that you think the guardians are doing when the chaos arrives?
Sometimes it seems like there's so much protocol and so much red tape that nothing is done.
That's
Guardian?
CUNY.
Guardian?
Well, what do you want from me? We work for CUNY.
Yes.
Okay, so let me just ask. So just notice what's happening in the room. Okay? Notice how this goes on outside the room. But we don't have this forum to talk about it, to work it out, and necessarily to make direct requests. As a group, you know, in a way that's like, okay, it doesn't make anybody wrong. Everybody's just doing their best self, you know? And they walk on each other sometimes. And then you get these organizational tensions, and then they last over time. And then they end up, people blame individuals for being the problem. And oftentimes it's just these natural tensions, right? But they require us to notice and to make requests. Is it true that a lot of your folks are guardians or thinkers, or the ones that you've been challenged by bringing along? Or
I think the problem is that I identify with the guardian. I'm playing devil's advocate.
Uh-huh.
Because nobody where I work has any structure. They have no protocol. Everything is like, I'll never know when somebody's going to show up. You want to order something a month from now or tomorrow? Who knows? You know, how do I get something purchased? I have to put on my credit card sometimes.
Oh, so you need more thinkers in your life than guardians.
I mean, I think
Okay.
what I'm seeing is you need more people that have all those traits.
Yep. Well, yeah, and none of us is perfectly balanced in that way. So we each are like medicine for each other, but we have to let each other see in our blind spots. This is the challenge. That's the truth of teamwork. That's the good stuff, you know? But how to draw that forward and not have people shrink because they feel like they're being judged for what they do well. And what you do well is keep harmony, and then it goes to an excess, and it becomes a little bit of a weakness, because now all of a sudden you're avoiding a situation that needs to be resolved, right? So, yeah.
I just wanted to say, I don't think that personally I have a conflict working with guardians, because sometimes when you're juxtaposed between all of these different dynamics, they can tend to be the voice of reason. So personally, I don't have a problem working with them.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay, but do you guys always get the recognition that you deserve like that?
No.
Yeah, okay, so was that nice?
Yeah.
Okay, so just go, yeah! Okay, great. So,
You're welcome.
that's great, Laura?
I want to say I think guardians are good at doing devil's advocate and being everyone's friend. But I think I would like sometimes if the guardians could not worry so much in a work setting of being someone's friend and focus more on what's the task that we have to do, and not, you know, preferring the friendlier people, or like focusing more on the task and who's more adept to do that task, and not
But they don't
just-
have to worry about that, because you're the doer and you're gonna get it done.
Okay, so here's the deal. Hold on. Notice your desire to defend someone else or yourself. Notice what's happening in your physiology, if anything, okay? Okay. Yeah, exactly. Just try it on, like a shirt. Okay? You're in the dressing room, right? Could someone just repeat over here what you think you heard her say? What was the request?
I feel like I heard her say that sometimes, depending on the task or the goal, there could be too much neutrality, and you need sometimes to, I don't want to say pick a side, but just to get the
Move on.
Yeah.
Okay, now check with her.
Is that what you were saying?
No, I mean, I guess I'm saying focus more on the task and not on people's feelings and people as individuals. Like, get people's feelings out of it. And I know guardians want to try to make everybody peaceful and everybody harmonious, but sometimes it's just about, let's just get the work done.
You must know some very nice guardians.
So,
That's not me.
That's why you're in the middle.
so do you hear her request?
Yes.
And if at some point in the future, you're noticing that you're over caring for other people's feelings, and you know that there's a job that needs to be done, that sometimes you just have to bite down a little bit hard. And is that something of what you're asking for? So if you're willing at some point in the future, go, okay, this is gonna handle a lot, then be willing to step in toward the center of the room. And if not, stay back where you are in your position. Just notice your position. Okay, great. Okay, all right, cool. And so notice. Okay.
I came up a little.
Okay. Thank you. What's great about being a talker?
For me, a lot of what I have to do involves my talking to people and having good relationships with the other people that I deal with. So for me, this is a good quality, because I have to deal with people and I have to be on good terms with them. So it works for me in my position.
Exactly. And being fully energized, and you said coordinating with folks. And
Yes, and I like to talk to people, and I like to have friends across all the campuses. I enjoy it.
And it works very much for the role that you're in. There's a lot of alignment. Okay. What's challenging about being a talker?
Sometimes in my role, I don't have enough power, and that's frustrating.
Okay.
Because maybe the doers have more power, but sometimes I don't have more power. So the only tool I have is relationship.
Use the relationships. Okay. That's very interesting. It is a question of how much do you feel like you can influence the environment versus how much do you have to work through other people to influence the environment. There's basically two two major choices here. And how much do you think you can influence the environment by being who you are, by imposing yourself on it to change it? Or how much do you need to align yourself with people who will influence the environment for you and make it safe? Since that's very much what we're all about, is seeking as much safety as possible, you know? So, okay, so maybe you feel like you don't have quite as much power, but you're creating influence through your relationships. Okay, yeah, interesting. Vacation?
Usually a beach.
Okay.
If not a beach, then Paris or London.
Okay then, why not? What do you guys want to, what request might you want to make of a talker?
Talker, they need to listen.
Okay, make a request.
And understand.
Make a request. It's not necessarily you.
Yes.
Yeah,
You are holding the place for talkers everywhere right now, or in the organization, or at times when people, maybe thinkers in this case, have had a little bit of a run-in with talkers because they feel, what?
Talk too much.
Okay. And if they talk too much, what happens for you?
Why
Lose
they,
focus.
What's that?
They lose focus.
Lose focus, okay. What else?
what they talk before understanding what's the process.
Okay.
Like, you know, if something takes certain time to be done, it's not just because I'm telling you do it now that, you know, it has to go through steps, so.
Exactly.
Just take a step back, take a chill pill, think it over, we're on top of it.
Yeah, okay. Isn't that great? Well spoken like a thinker? Yeah, right? Love it. Okay, talker, does that make some sense to you?
Yes.
Okay, that's great. So duly noted, and if at some point in the future you notice yourself jumping into things with a bunch of, you know, cacophony, then, and you wait, somebody is actually thinking it through, it's gonna take some process, and I will find a way to be patient and give them my respect and that kind of thing. If you're willing to honor that in the future, please take a step forward. Thank you.
Say something to compliment the topic.
Okay, compliment, you want a compliment?
The social influence is sometimes so instrumental in getting things done.
Yes.
To talk to
Yes.
our steward group, like
Yes.
sometimes it's
Who
just
you
like,
know, how
yeah,
you
how,
get along
who you
with them.
know, and like how to like kind of social lubricant to get that stuff happening. Because oftentimes, you know, we get stuck at a particular point. Somebody has some skills.
I've been to that too also, but
Yeah.
that's
You have a great strategy, great
Yeah.
plan,
No, yeah.
but nobody's buying in, and then it takes somebody to pave the way.
Nice.
And we both need to talk.
I think talk is very, very valuable. Because they have that way to communicate that sometimes the guardian or the thinker or the doer may not be able to get that message across.
To verbalize
Do
it,
that.
Yeah.
So I think
The other part that's really helpful from the thinking perspective, because I identify very strongly there, is that the talker usually knows somebody that I want to interact with.
Yes.
Like if I'm doing research or something, and I don't know these people, I know I can talk to this person, and they're connected. And it's put together, it helps the thinking and it helps the doing.
Nice. Because they're the dendrites and the neural pathways of the organization.
You're-
Just like with the brain, you know, you start kind of weaving your way through.
Yes, yes.
And, you know, you've got to lay in the land.
You're the serotonin and all the neurotransmitters.
Yeah, baby! That's social lubricant!
You're the connection.
You know, just take it, all right. That's great. Okay, thank you.
And that's what I'm saying, what happens if the talkers are so busy talking that they haven't heard anything that anyone else has said? Because they're so focused on their own agenda or what they think everyone wants. You all want this, don't you? So I'm gonna speak for the group. And all of you are like, wait, I don't want this. Well, yeah, we did decide that.
That's her point.
They
Then
can
talkers
railroad
need to
you
listen.
sometimes.
Right.
Yeah.
So sometimes when they do have social commodity, but when you look at it closely, it's not right. Seriously, how much stock does this really have? Can they talk? Yes, but do they have anything to back up what they're talking about?
Right. Yeah, how much steak and how much sizzle?
I'm just saying.
Right? Okay.
That's exactly. She's thinking it through.
All right, so I think they're already doing themselves right now.
Well, she's talking to us. She must be doing
I know.
So what else is great about about being a thinker. We've clearly heard from you. Yeah, this is good.
You guys succeeded, right?
We understand everything.
We like to think everything from A to Z.
Yes.
We like to analyze really deep.
Yeah, okay.
We're thorough.
Thorough.
We don't wanna fail, so that's why we take
Yeah,
our.
so we, and we take our time, we wanna take our time.
So you're prudent and you're well-paced, okay?
Sometimes people are not, they're not as fast, they're not following our pace. So once they push our buttons, it's like, that's when we react. In a
Okay.
way that, shouldn't be.
Yeah, okay, all right, okay. Feedback. So what's challenging about being thinkers?
They don't understand us.
There's
They
no other,
understand
Nobody
us.
You gotta think this through.
That takes too long to think.
You guys, come on.
That is a problem.
I want you to just go, you don't understand us. Come on, just say, it. You don't understand us. Come on, Ming, come on, get those fingers out.
Wait a minute, what are you doing? He was here. Oh, okay. You're not abandoning us.
So listen, so they don't understand you. Okay, what else is challenging for you about being thinkers?
No, I mean, especially most likely we deal with situation and numbers and things like that. It takes, I'm not going to defend, but it takes a while to get through. I mean, especially on payroll or whatever, students, Spanish related, things like that.
Yeah.
So you have to get it right because it's a lot of liability involved either way, like either for the individual or for the university. So you, and sometimes I understand also they want an answer. I mean, you got a call from upstairs. Why is this not done? Well, I mean, hold on a second. I have to call that college, and that college need to contact that department, and so on and so forth.
Yes.
And sometimes it's 2-3 colleges involved because we have agents that go from places to places.
Yes.
So you can't come with the number just like that, or with the position, or title, or hours, or whatever it is, or how many days was in or out, or what classes you taught.
They do like this, and
Things like that.
that's it, it should be done.
Yeah.
We wanna make sure everyone's giving you the right answer.
Right.
So you don't
And
come
not
back.
Yeah.
I think it's an issue of substance over form.
I'm sorry, that was too profound for me. I gotta stand over here. Can you say more?
It's substance over form. And I'm both, and I stated it in the beginning, I'm a doer and a thinker, but I do like to take my time and analyze, and then I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
That's not a problem. I would rather give you something substantive
Oh, yeah.
after I thought it through and looked at everything and given you a finished product
Yeah.
than just give you a BS form.
Yeah.
Because I did it.
Got it. Okay,
So
thank you.
that's what I mean, substance over form.
Got it. What requests might you make of thinkers?
Why everybody move away?
What requests might you make of thinkers to make it easier for you at certain moments to be able to do your job even better?
I will offer that I find that it would be helpful if you guys communicated your thought process. Right?
We can't.
Okay, shh, okay, shh.
I think the thing is, like, if you take your ideas and go, okay, I need to do these things in order to achieve these goals, like these are, and then you can say to somebody, hey, look, this is gonna take me like 4 days because these are some of the things that I need to do to achieve the goal that you want. And these are non-negotiable because, you know, this is just how it is. If you want me to go faster, then pick like a degraded product because I can't give you what you asked for in this amount of time unless you allow me to do this through. So
Okay, so, all right, good. All right, hold on. Notice?
Agreed.
Okay.
Agree.
Okay, clear request, excellent. So if in the future you're faced with that kind of situation and you go, oh, they don't know why, I'm going to make explicit now what the situation is and what has to be accomplished. Okay, if you're willing to accommodate that request to ease situation, please take a step forward.
Give me a hug.
Okay. And which group do you find hardest in your particular style? Do you find most challenging to deal with more often than not?
Talkers.
Talker, thank you.
Talker.
Talker?
Because she's by herself, I'm
not
gonna say
you.
guardians,
Okay.
I'm gonna say guardians.
It's just good information right now. It's just good information.
I'm part talker too, so I wouldn't
Yeah.
know, maybe guardian?
Maybe guardian for you because of the steady pace. They just,
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
that they have
which is a
also-
positive, and then sometimes they're not going any
Like,
faster.
They can't keep up.
They're still at that
Yeah.
pace. Right, exactly. Right.
Which is clear.
Okay, so just noticing that, and noticing that our heart rate goes up, we might be telling ourselves, oh, da da da, they're always doing this, you know, da da da, right? Respect, willingness to look again, make a request, see if they step in, right? How many of you actually ask for what you need? Okay, honest?
To be
Honest,
honest,
honest engine?
I can say I
Sometimes.
think I.
Okay, all right, hold on. This is 100% of the time. This is, like, almost never, okay? All right, and so how many of you ask for what you need? Okay? Please notice, look around, and we have one hand even folded. Okay, way down there. Okay.
you know, Linnea,
Why not? Yes.
well, you're gonna say why not? I think it's because it depends on who you're asking. If I think that I'm not going to get the response that I want, I'm not gonna ask that person. It's not a
Notice.
no-brainer.
Notice, if you go, yeah, I'm not either. Or if you go, well, maybe she's predetermining that situation. And it might turn out differently than she ever could imagine, like you just had this.
And I could say that did happen at one time with the person that I'm talking about, and I was pleasantly surprised.
Okay, good. So are you willing to be surprised more often?
Oh, yes.
Okay, that's all.
Oh, yes.
That's all I'm looking for here.
That's why my hand was here instead of,
Okay.
because normally I'm the person, I'll ask for what I need. I
Uh-huh.
have no problem doing that.
So why don't we sometimes?
You don't want to hear no.
Thank you, thank you. Any other reasons?
Also because people sometimes take it personal, like we were kind of arguing a little bit. Take it as a personal, like, oh, you're insulting me and you don't
Yeah.
like me. But
Yeah.
it's not always that. It's like, this is what I need. How can we?
That's right.
But people take it very personal.
Right. And what are the 3 Ps?
I really don't.
If you take it personal,
Very still.
personally, if you think
Personal,
it's
prevalent.
prevalent, or if you think it's permanent, okay? That person's always gonna respond that way. Or everybody's going to say no whenever I ask this one thing, or I couldn't possibly ask for this, you know? It's like, yeah, then that starts to limit our choices. And all of a sudden, we put ourselves in our own straitjacket.
But you assume that people know as well, because it's, to me, sometimes it's logical. Why do I have to explain this to you?
Okay, what do we know about that word? No, assume.
Assume.
No, but as out of you and me, I understand that, but still, there's some things, when you go to the restroom, you're supposed to flush the toilet. Why do I have to explain that to you? So there's certain things that I feel like, okay,
It
not.
flushes itself.
Not here, it doesn't. Not here, it doesn't. Big time, you got it.
But that's what I mean though, but you know, basically that is what you're supposed to do.
He's right.
Why do I have to then explain to you? You
Yeah.
see I'm struggling, it's
Yeah.
clear, it's evident. Why do I need to explain to you that I need more time on the project? Why do I need to explain to
You know
you
what I
that?
realized recently? They don't realize it until you say it. It's like,
How is it that they don't realize?
They
Because I feel like sometimes that's deliberate, but that's deliberate.
I think because they
Hold on, listen. Watch your willingness to fight this one, okay? Listen to what she's saying and see if you can let that in.
they're
Just a
in their
moment.
own world. They don't see what you have on your plate until you say, I can't do this. I'm over. They're like, oh, really? I didn't know that. That happened to me recently. It was like, huh? I'm like, they're in their own world. They don't
People have
see
their
you.
own thing to deal with.
They don't see you. They don't see your struggle.
Yeah.
They don't see it.
And that's not
They don't see
personal.
it. Yeah, it's
And
not
that's
personal.
not personal.
Exactly.
But are you willing to step out look again and advocate for yourself.
Right.
Rather than silently, you know, that silent desperation people walk around in. Forget it! You don't get brownie points.
I mean, even if it's personal, don't let it affect you. Like
Right.
this is a job. You go home, you have friends and family.
No, but it does affect you.
It
So
does,
that's
but
what
you have to
say
it
I think people are, especially when you're dealing with your managers, you don't want to show any sign of weakness, because you're afraid that could be used against you. Or you can't handle it, so let me take that away from you and give it to somebody who can.
Yeah.
But sometimes the courage is needed to say when you don't know how to or can't do something. It takes a courage also to say I can't do it, or I'm not willing to do it because.
Exactly.
And that's a courage. Well, it might be taken away from you, but instead of, I'm sorry, but instead of doing it halfway, it's maybe more courageous to say, look, I can't.
Right.
I don't know, or I don't have time, or.
But you really have to be careful with.
You have to.
Yeah.
And that's why I say the courage.
People are very guarded because they
But
don't want to
ultimately,
show
every
that.
manager will expect more courage than a little lie.
Well, I would think that there's a different way of handling this, which is going to the manager and explaining, I only have this amount of time, and this is how much each of my projects is taking. Which one do you want me to prioritize and which one comes off the list?
If that comes off as sometimes you can't handle it, I won't give you another.
But here's the thing, like if the stuff is gonna take, 80 hours and you have 40 hours to do it, and like there's no
Some
debate.
managers don't even want you to get to that point and say that.
Thank you.
They don't want to hear that.
Then
You have to really gauge your manager when you make these
Managers are
declarations.
gatekeepers. If they get a sniff
Because
of
there
what
is a
you're
tendency
doing
to be, it can be used
So this
against
is
you.
where the skill of the managing.
The manager,
Up, right?
yes.
This is
Yes.
where our emotional intelligence and awareness and how far can
I
we
mean, it's a fine
push
line.
them, or how much can we ask them to be mature,
Yes. Yes.
right? That would be a mature response,
Yes.
because that's a mature request, right? But not necessarily. They haven't all been through my resilience training.
Exactly. That was the other point I was gonna make. A lot of managers don't come into training like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because this is more about self-awareness.
Yes, and so this is what we're doing with you guys, is inside of the space that you have, that you own, that is yours.
Right.
How do you create as much space and much elbow room to give yourself as much of what you need?
Yes.
You know, you gotta create your own womb.
Yeah.
You gotta drink your own amniotic fluid, right? You gotta create the stuff that's nourishing, because nobody's really gonna do it for you, and you need to keep pressing out on that space. Make it as big as possible, really. And then you'll see, you actually will rise in the organization when you do that, because people look and go, wow, they have more command. They're taking space. They're making positive assumptions about what can be done. 4 basic responses to requests. Who would like to work with me, and I'll give you the response? Who wants to try? Okay, come on up.
Oh, is this role play?
Yeah, role play, yeah. So just stay where you are.
Never told us which one you are.
Right, exactly. Well, I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to give you those quick answers. You're going to make some kind of request, whatever that is, okay? And I'm going to be, one of these managers, and I have, I have these choices. And basically, you have choices in terms of how to get what you need. Not just necessarily accept it totally at face value, but to work with it in a way that meets both needs. So see how it goes, right? And it means flexing behaviors, right? I mean, am I a doer? Am I a talker? Am I a guardian or a thinker, right? So who are you approaching with what kind of request, right? So think about your boss, right? And so you want to go ahead and make a request?
Sure. I have an idea for a project that I'd like to work on. This is the idea.
Great.
Do you think I can work on it?
Yes.
Okay. Is it possible that I can work on it by myself, or what would you like me to do?
By yourself is great. When am I going to see results?
In about a week.
Okay, great. So B here, B squared.
Okay.
All right, with it all done?
Yeah.
Cool, great, thank you. All right.
My boss was like.
Next. Okay, just don't let any of your other work slip.
Now we gotta go to the real
All right.
world.
I know, right?
Now,
The world.
now go ahead, ask the same.
Same question.
Yeah.
I have a project I'd like to work on. What do you think about it?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, you know, you got your work. I'm not, you got your work to do. What is this other project thing? Like, you got your work. So, no.
Okay, bye.
Okay, so what did you notice about her physiology then?
It was like, ooh.
Okay. So, but first, you seen that she kind of froze,
Yeah.
like this, right, momentarily. Notice these things happen so fast, right? There was this, really? And then she like chuckled, looked around, is anybody else watching this? Like,
And the pessimist you knew was gonna be a no.
It's usually a no.
Right.
And then
So
it
you've been
was,
prepared.
so she froze, she didn't fight, but, and then flight. So there was some of that. So can you try a different response to I know?
To your no?
Yeah. Because you still have power,
Okay.
okay? So go ahead and make the same
I
question.
think it would be a great project because it could show all the students why they should go to CUNY, and it would be a great video for